Ba-da-ba, I'm live. Hello, how are you? Welcome on into the show. It is Play for Time, our new show, which does not yet have a starting thing. We don't have an actual Play for Time starting graphic, starting video. So I've been making things to make it funnier. So here's what I'm going to do for you today. Ready? Let's see. Start with this, and then I'll do. Yeah. I think that's all I could do for that. So, hey, here I am in the show now. If only I can find a co-host. There's a co-host.
We have no background. What have you done? Or do you like this one? I like them both.
You can do whatever.
I understand. I feel weird about sitting on top of myself.
Kind of into it. So hello from my mom. I guess my dad didn't tune in, just my mom. And there's Chloe's here. She says it's fun. Hi, Joanne. So we've got Kerry. You and I have been going cuckoo bananas traveling. You had to go to Vienna, so I showed a bunch of your stuff from Vienna, and then you and I made a crazy choice. Why don't you talk a little bit about where we went?
So we wanted to cover shopping on Thanksgiving weekend. We thought we'll just go out on Black Friday and see if anybody is still shopping. Maybe we'll go to Boston. We had, of course, just gone to the tree lighting in Boston. So instead, we went to a pretty popular shopping area in Somerville, Mass on Black Friday. And it turns out people, in fact, are still shopping in person.
All right. Why don't you roll it? Let's show them what we found at Black Friday.
So here for Black Friday to see what other people do, because I do the online thing nowadays. I have not shopped Black Friday since like 2008 when I needed a bunch of stuff for a new house and was buying like half-price towels. I was like, you keep your 85-inch TV, I need some towels.
More or less shooting anything I find interesting as we see all the people out doing their shopping. There's a lot of people here doing their shopping. So I think we're gonna have a lot of things to feed the lens today. I got a sense. This trick I'm doing, by the way, is shooting someone without them thinking I'm shooting them, because I'm talking to you while I'm shooting them. So it's interesting, there's so many people here shopping. I did not think physical in-person shopping was still a thing. I really think everyone just buys on the internet, but I am dead wrong. What I'm trying. I want to shoot through the snowflakes at the people. There we go.
Some people shop Black Friday for the experience. I never liked the experience. I just wanted the discounts, and now you can pretty much get them online. But like, plenty of people want the experience.
All right, it's a world where we can online shop. We all have accounts at every online thing in the world. Why are you here? You were also with us at the other thing.
Touching things is
very
important.
So yeah, there's a lot of information you can get just from Tactile. Also, I'm not really a big fan of online. I like to put the money back into the neighborhood, and then just getting out, being around people.
It's nice. It's good to have that social experience, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
And the fresh air.
And the fresh air. I found a pot store. So we've moved on from Somerville and the Assembly Row. We're now at the Marketplace, I think it's called, in Linfield. Same thing, we're just here for Black Friday shoppers, so we're just like that energy right there. That's what we're thinking. Okay, so we came by, we saw this sign that said the rink at the Marketplace, and that's why we're here. This is like an ice skating rink, so I thought it might be fun to get a couple pictures of people right before they hurt their heads. Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, she even showed me climbing up a gentle slope, which is my nemesis. This last March, I fell down a hill just like that one. So she's laughing because she knows that I injured myself.
I'm not laughing because you fell. I'm just laughing because you amble.
I do amble. Joanne, by the way, corrects her typo, Gen Zs, but she says, well, Gen Zs are going back to flip phones, so there's nothing like the energy being around other humans, and yes, the tactile bit of shopping. She also says, I love the little guy working on getting independent on his ice skating crutch. Yeah, that was, what do you think of the experience of that day? That's just Black Friday.
So I cut away from the little boy because he fell down. I didn't want to show him falling down. I was like, that's sad because he tried really hard and he was like very independent. Do what I think of the experience as like a person coming to study the experience. It was fine. If I'd actually been trying to buy anything, I would have lost my damn mind. There's people in lines to go in the store, just to go in the store to spend their money. It was crazy town. I also did not share footage from the coffee shop that we went into. That was so packed, you got coffee spilled all over yourself.
Yeah, I came out of that store a little Java enhanced. I was grateful. I also ruined every photo I took that day. I unfortunately had one little setting wrong on my camera, and I ruined every photo, which is fine because I learned. I went home and I studied and I read up and I learned some things I didn't know, and I realized my mistake. But it was really fun. It was the fact that you got all that footage, minus some of the footage that I shot on my camera, insisting I should keep it on my camera, and of course that wasn't a good plan either. So sorry.
So you were wrong. I just want to mark the calendar.
I do, once every quarter, I let you have one like that. So we did Black Friday, and then because we're idiots, we then went and did Saturday, which is called Small Business Saturday, and you rolled some really good stuff on that. Before we go to that, Chloe says, that interview with shoppers was so fun. I never thought about it being a way to connect with people. I think I'd be trying to avoid everyone and people overload. We saw those same people at the tree lighting thing. They're in the tree lighting video from last Play for Time, right? So that's the thing there. Joanne also said, Leslie says, it looked like so much fun as an observer, but I'm with you, Kerry. It would have been much different if I were trying to shop. Joanne said nothing like failing forward. Kerry, do you want to intro Small Business Saturday and then
yeah, basically you said it. We're morons. We're like, I bet people are shopping like all weekend. We could go to some different places and see if it's more crazy, less crazy, equally as crazy on Small Business Saturday.
So we went to Portsmouth, New Hampshire for our third stop for Small Business Saturday. So there's Black Friday, there's Small Business Saturday, there's I don't even know what Sunday, go to church, you heathen, and then Cyber Monday. So this is Small Business Saturday. I was just trying to get through the window because I like the reflections mixed with the people.
So this is the Ceres Bakery, and we come here all the time because it's really inclusive. You can tell they've got a pride flag out front. I love it because it's in a haunted building, as I learned when I did my tour of haunted Portsmouth from Walking Tours. So check out the Walking Tours app if you want to hear the story.
Deadwigs. It has oils, herbs, tarot cards. It's got a creepy name. It's ethereal. It seems like out of places like Christmas shopping, but it's got cool stuff if you have people who like creepy things.
So on really old houses, especially in this area, you can see sometimes a boot scraper. Because when you were about to come in the house and you've just gotten off your horse, your boots are all gunky. Boot scraper.
It's really nice. Oh. perfect timing to watch somebody fall. So, we did Black Friday, we did Small Business Saturday, we'll do F off Sunday, and then we'll have Cyber Monday, and we'll have done the whole quadfecta of things you could do for holiday shopping. But this was kind of the best, just going up to Portsmouth, because it's kind of our stomping grounds that we go to for a lot of shots, but we saw a whole new angle of it today. So still, where are we? Small Business Saturday. We're in Portland, Maine now. So we've done Boston, Somerville, Portsmouth, and now Portland. Just in shopping glee, buying nothing but food and drinks. So one of the things I do in street photography is I go back to the same places, I run the same routes. That way I'm looking for interesting people, not will this look nice when I shoot it. So I have the set part handled, and then I need to put my characters in it. So that's how I do it. That's what I'm looking for when I come out. So there was a vote on the ballot in Maine to make the state flag of Maine this tree with a star on it. This is kind of a fun story. And I don't really know any of the politics behind it, but people were not into it. And ever since then, I'm super into that because I'm a guy from Maine. Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. What would cause someone to succumb to buying something on a Small Business Saturday is it's a Maine hat from a Maine store about Maine stuff from a guy in Maine, and I broke down and I bought a thing. But it is Small Business Saturday, so I'm alright with my choices. Look at this. It's a Christmas tree made out of a whole bunch of lobster traps. Kind of old-timey ones, judging by them. This is a statue called the Maine Lobsterman by Victor Cahill. When I lived in Augusta when I was a kid, like, I don't know, until I was 10 or 11, we would go to the museum a lot, and this was at the front door all the time. So I'd see this guy all the time, and he was huge in my mind, and because he was also up on a big pillar. So now he's down low, and it's like a regular-sized lobsterman ish.
And there it was. There it was. So yeah, the only thing that I ended up buying at all on Black Friday and Small Business Saturday was my Maine hat. It's got the little Maine flag logo. But we had fun. What are some of the things that you took out of the experience yourself?
It was really windy. So some of the sound sounded a little bit like not as good in Portland compared to Portsmouth and stuff. And it was so windy. We were like walking through wind tunnels, freezing cold. So I think what impressed me the most is just how many people still were out there, still wanted to go shopping, still wanted to hang out. And they were having a good time. It wasn't like they were miserable ducking into stores to get out of the wind and stuff. It was, I think, on the whole, a very fun, positive experience, which wasn't what I expected, because you see it like in that horror movie Thanksgiving last year that came out about Black Friday and the crazy shopping stuff. Like, I guess we didn't go to big box stores. Maybe that's the thing, but I thought it was fun.
It was definitely chill. One of the things I loved about that store where you saw me taking the pictures of the two ladies behind the counter, she knew everything about every single thing. She was like, oh, this version of the logo of the Black on Black was made by Holly Winchester, who lives in Falmouth. And like, she was naming like all the details of every single thing that went in the bag. I mean, we only bought a couple things, but she named like all of the things. And I was just like, wow, that is an impressive knowledge base of what's in their store and how very much it supported Maine all the way around. So I like that the most from that trip. But yeah, and oh my gosh, I got such great photos. I've already put them up on places online, but it was a lot of fun. It was kind of fun to see the difference between Black Friday in Boston and whatnot and Small Business Saturday in Portsmouth and Portland. It was definitely a different vibe, wouldn't you say? But still very New England.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let me think about the vibe, whether it was different. I guess so. So the tree lighting was probably in Boston was probably the most city, obviously, like the most different types of people. Everybody had been rained on for a while. So that you had like the real diehards. That was a vibe. It was like, we are so dedicated to the holidays that we're going to stand in the rain until this Christmas tree lights up, holiday tree. So that was a vibe that was interesting, like unity through shared trauma. sort of if rain is trauma. But then when we went to Boston for shopping, there was a little bit of like a competitive edge in the air. It wasn't totally chill. It was pretty chill, but there were long lines of people waiting to get into like surprising stores like Columbia, for example, Ralph Lauren. And I think they would have thrown down if somebody cut the line. So I can't say that was completely chill. On the other hand, Portsmouth and Portland on a small business Saturday, totally different vibe, very chill. Everybody was just out to have a good time and support the local community. So on the whole, I prefer small business Saturday.
I did as well. And I avail of large companies. I shop at Amazon. I'm not one of those like absolute purists who goes out of his way to kind of like hold to my morals on that. I buy where it makes more sense to buy things. And so I think it's an opportunity to get a chance to see good things. Hang on, I'm trying to now suddenly upload a file in the middle of this conversation. Okay, so listen, in the meantime, one of the other things that we had going on is that I had a chance to go to New York City for work. I had a chance. Hey, would you like to go to New York City? It'll be super fun. I had to go to work in New York City. I think I can risk doing both things at the same time. I don't know. What do you think? Should I risk uploading?
I never risk it.
All right, then stall for time because we gotta wait till this thing does a thing. I don't know.
So here's what happened. We did another local holiday event, brought my husband along. It was a lot of fun, called the Sea Festival of Trees. And I did not have my fancy camera with me. I was working off my phone, but I was like, I could do this. I can make this work. So I didn't cut it together until 10 minutes ago. I forgot because I had so much footage from Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. And for whatever reason, my computer doesn't like to upload things. So apologies. That's on me.
So I want to say one more thing about it before we run the video. I very often am in a situation where I have to work while I'm doing other stuff. I am very often in that situation. So there's Kerry and there's Dan and there's me and we're tooling along. I'm in the back of the car and I am saying work stuff and texting work stuff and all that. And Dan's like having a great old time up front. He's singing even. And then Kerry let me in on what was going on.
He was singing what he would say, what you were saying to dictate into your watch or whatever. He was singing it in like a holiday fashion. So he'd be like, oh, I didn't go to that meeting. That wasn't my project. You were never going to notice. It would have gone on all day.
He made a massive amount of little songs up of things I was saying, like, I don't think I'll be there at 2, but I can make 2:30. And I didn't even catch it. And so when he finally did let me in, I laughed so hard I was crying. I was weeping. It was one of those like hit my chest to try to breathe kind of laughs. So we arrive at Salisbury Beach. Salisbury Beach, I have shown on this show multiple times. You can go to YouTube/Chris Brogan and see lots of videos of Salisbury Beach. Kerry and I have been there at dawn. I have shot it in many different aspects and elements of days. It is beautiful fun to shoot. We went to this place that I've never been to that I can't remember the name of because I always want to call it the name from Police Academy.
The Blue Ocean Event Center.
That's right. And so Kerry said, hey, you want to go to this thing? It's like a room full of Christmas trees. And I was like, that sounds lame AF. But whatever, like maybe there'll be something worth shooting. Kerry, do you want to just run it? Because I think you narrate this one, right?
One of my favorite things about this time of year is that there are so many community events you can go to with fun things for everybody, like the whole family, people of all ages. We went to the Sea Festival of Trees, a holiday wonderland by the sea in Salisbury, Massachusetts. They had incredibly decorated trees donated by businesses in the community, and you could actually win the trees in a raffle, which doesn't sound that exciting, except that the trees come with bonus gifts.
Oh, you could win this?
If you happen to be in the Salisbury area, get yourself over to the Blue Ocean Event Center. If you're not anywhere near there, don't worry. I'm sure there is something like the Sea Festival of Trees that happens in your own neighborhood.
That's pretty impressive given that was like 40 something seconds of video footage that you put together like the last 8 minutes before the show started. That's pretty cool. You put it together. What else did we miss out?
There was actually ice skating happening, but it was oddly not that photogenic because it was sort of set down below everybody. It was like we were on a platform and they had this sort of lower area where people could ice skate. It looked like a pit. I don't know. Like you throw your kids in the pit and they fight it out or something. But it was ice skating. There was also Santa's workshop where you could test toys, and there was a snack area, but tons of other people's kids, obviously, and not much else going on over there. So I did not film there.
Yeah. So Joanne says, beautiful and great promo. And Leslie says, I'm checking out a festival of trees in North Conway this weekend. So it was a lot of fun. So my experience of it, again, I went in. Kerry says, hey, Dan and I are going to the city. You want to go? Like, yeah, okay, cool. But I get in the car. I get, made fun of for a long time. And don't know it. And then we go there, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is going to be so stupid. Like, it's like going to be a room full of differently decorated trees. And then, I don't know, I think Kerry noticed it first. Kerry says, wait a minute. You can put in and do a raffle, like she says in the video. You can put in and do a raffle, and you can win the stuff that the tree is representing. So Tito's vodka, you can win a crap ton of vodka. There was a money tree, you'd win thousands of bucks. And the raffle tickets were stupid cheap. You'll have to explain that because I didn't pay any attention. But that changed the whole mentality of kind of going through that room, because suddenly you realize why people were so like intensely looking at the trees, because there was like booty to be had. Explain the pricing.
There were 2 tiers. So you could buy regular raffle tickets, which were pretty cheap. I forget now. I want to say it was like, I got $10 worth. So I probably got like 50 entries. It's a lot of entries for all the trees that were sort of like ordinary branded trees. Most of them would come with like a couple gift cards or something. And it was nice. Or you'd be donating to like the fire department or some community thing. So either way, really nice. The other thing was a special like premium area. I think I showed it right in the beginning, but bigger trees with more valuable prizes that came with. So one had like a Nintendo Switch and a bunch of other video game type stuff. One had $1,000 worth of scratchers like on there. So of course I wanted that one. I didn't put the ticket in for that one though. And just stuff like that. Or a beach theme. There was a beach themed one that came with like a beach chair and I think it was with some Tito's and some other things. So the tickets cost a little bit more. They were still like pretty cheap. But it's just fun. So you would get the big tree with all the decorations and you would get whatever prize it came with. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that exciting. People would be like, I don't want this tree.
So we have I have to do a little backstory. I deal with clinical depression, and it is a chemical-based thing. But there are things that you can do in your lifestyle to make the chemicals work better and balance better. Plus, I took some really great drugs that fixed some of these problems, at least in the short term. But I have had seasonal depression for years and years and years and years and years, decades at this point, seasonal depression. So that basically stems to the holidays have always been really hard for me. And I go in a real big funk somewhere around Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving, and I'm not usually good at it until the year starts over. This is one of the first years that I felt very connected, very happy. We went to all those ridiculous things. We went to the tree lighting in Boston. We went to Black Friday. We went to Shit on Yourself Saturday. I don't remember anymore. Small Business Saturday. And whatever that thing was called in Salisbury. And so it was a lot of fun. I'm saying this in the context of this new show format, Play for Time, because I found that the more times I went to these places, the more, even if I wasn't fully feeling it, I was definitely kind of like, I was better for having gone to it. So that was really important. On that end, like I said, I had the great fun and opportunity to go to New York City, where by happenstance, the New York tree lighting was over by like 30 Rock or whatever. Now I have to tell you a different couple things. I did not get all the way over to the tree lighting because it's New York City. Very many thousands of people were there to look at that. I said, no, thanks. But I went next door, and you'll see in the video, next door was good enough. So this is just a little not very good essay on New York City.
New York's an interesting place. You can see stuff in every direction. Movement, excitement, curiosity. It's all there. You could go to Central Park. You could see people, just characters everywhere that you look. There's always something moving around in New York. Tall things, low things, people moving in all different ways. Just always a place of movement. What I thought when I was walking around there with my camera was that I could just see anything. This is early in the day, there's middle of the day, there's birds in flight, there's things in every direction, people working everywhere, movement, lots of garbage trucks. I love garbage trucks, it turns out. All kinds of characters. It's like a movie set where someone accidentally left you there, and if you want, you could create something. You could move with the crowd, you can move against the crowd, but you're gonna be there day and night. And that's what gets exciting. I was there by mistake at the tree lighting, although I didn't go to the tree lighting because there were so many people. So I hung out kind of near Radio City Music Hall, where there was its own festival happening. And there were people posing and all in holiday spirit and cheer. It was just fascinating to see people all gathered around at night. Now listen to this guy.
So I can't stress enough. This was 10-something p.m. at night, and it was thousands of people. It's just New York being New York, you know? So it was crazy. But that fiddler guy, he was cracking on that crowd. He was using like a loop machine. You've probably seen him used before. It's got a bunch of little pedals. You could set in little bitty bits of loop samples. And so he was like he's like, it was very there was a lot of Indian and Pakistani people in the crowd, and he was doing kind of their style music, and he fiddled himself up a storm. He had people dancing in every direction. Cops were dancing. So it was shenanigans. It was so fun to see happen. So it was a great old time. It was another dose of holiday and festivity stuff. Who knows if we're going to bring any segments like that for this next Play for Time. By the way, still need your help, still need segments, still want you to do shots on location, shots about special interests, shots about, I can't remember any of the other segments, Kerry.
Are you kidding? So there's special interests and on location. Over to you is the segment meant for you to talk about any old thing you want that's keeping you engaged with life, whether it's a hobby, so like a part-time job, a weird collection that you enjoy, you just want to show us something cool happening in your area, or, you know, how you make churros, whatever it is we want to see.
I'd like a churro. I think now that you say that. I was just in New York where there was probably a churro every 2 blocks for all I know, but there were definitely a lot of bagels. There was a lot of halal meats. It's a big on halal right now. So yeah. So I think one of the things that I want to make the theme of this particular episode is just that if you push through some of your feelings, again, remember that my depression is chemical based. Maybe yours is too. But if you push through some of that a little bit, if you can muster it, you can come to the other side and really start to feel some different things. Plus, I think you also get the opportunity to, if you have a mission, like Kerry and I went down there with a mission. Kerry, you mentioned afterwards, by the way, you said something after the Boston tree lighting about that you were able to be in that crowd. It was not until that point that I knew that that was the thing about you, because you always seemed pretty okay to kind of handle things like that. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, I don't have any phobias or anything like that, but I have aversions. And one of them is crowds. I don't like crowds. I don't like being jostled. I don't like a ton of I don't like sharing my space with tons of people. When I went to London a year ago or so, a little more than a year ago, it was so thick with people. It was like cheek by jowl, we're just crammed in places. I don't love that. I can tolerate it when I have to tolerate it, but I don't love that, and I don't seek that out. When you were like, oh, let's go to the tree lighting, I was like, whoa, no, was my first reaction. Then I thought, you're going to go get photos. It would be a great opportunity for videos. And I just kind of made myself go. I don't like going into the city. It's crowded and dirty and smelly. I don't like crowded events. You know, there's a bunch of stuff about it that I didn't like. And I was like, just suck it up and go. And it ended up being a lot of fun.
So I still don't have any really, we have to make intro and outro videos and music and all that kind of crap. So you're still stuck with this kind of shenanigans. So boop, I'll do that. I'll do this. Get out of here, show's over.